Welcome to the Gus Alva Perspective, a videocast that touches on the notion of embracing abundance and gratitude over the mindset of fear and scarcity. The topic that I'd like to touch on with you today is getting calloused. And you might think this is a weird topic that Dr. Alva is going to speak about right now here, but the art of callousness is sort of an interesting area of consideration. And if you think about the crucible of life's challenges, the development of callousness, whether they be physical calluses, emotional, or mental, are a testament of human resilience. And now you understand why it is that I wanted to touch on this particular topic. So first and foremost, it's not a bad idea to take a look at what the essence of callousness is. If we were to think on a very, rough point of view, no pun intended, with physical callousness, it's basically a toughening of the body's exterior where through rigorous physical training or exposure to challenging environments, this results in enhanced durability. But there's also emotional callousness, and the development of resilience allows individuals to navigate life's emotional complexities with a greater degree of strength and adaptability. So that's actually not a bad thing. And then subsequently, if you think about the area that I end up touching base on a lot, that's mental callousness. And that encompasses the fortification of cognitive processes that enable individuals to confront intellectual challenges or adversity or uncertainty with a resilient mindset. So as you take a look at this concept of callousness now, might not be such a bad trait to consider. So what are some of the mechanisms of forming, again, this callousness? Well, one is progressive exposure. It arises through a consistent exposure to demanding physical activities. If you've never lifted a weight and all of a sudden you start lifting weights, you'll notice that all of a sudden your hands are going to get significantly calloused. Now, this gradually strengthens the body's endurance and tolerance of actually being able to, grasp and hang on to or hold, heavy weights. With emotional adaptation, though, this is really important because this might stem from exposure to adversity. And if you think of loss or challenges, which we all experience, they lead to emotional adaptation and the development of coping mechanisms. And these are really important areas that we sometimes don't necessarily think about. Now, if we tie in the other sphere of cognition, cognitive challenges, we see that these get cultivated through exposure to intellectual challenges, problem solving, the deliberate cultivation of a resilient mindset. And so it's important to take a look at, how exactly we might perceive this concept of callousness. There truly is sort of a dichotomy. There's a benefit and a drawback associated with it. The benefit is that you have more resilience and adaptability as you become calloused. The drawback is that you might become more emotionally detached and you might be at risk of desensitization, which is another topic that we've touched on in a different video cast. So how do we balance this callousness? Well, first and foremost, mindful reflection is a very important thing. We need to strike a balance between being tough and being empathic. When we ensure that callousness doesn't become a barrier to emotional connection, that helps us evolve in a better fashion as a human being. Selective exposure is another very important thing because conscious exposure to challenges, whether they be physical or mental, allow for the intentional development of callousness without sacrificing emotional intelligence or empathy, which we should have in abundance within us. Keep in mind that a holistic well-being is really important when we incorporate practices that nurture the mind, the body, your emotions, create a balanced foundation for callousness to thrive. And as we stated right now, in this intricate pattern of life, callousness emerges as a dynamic force that can either empower or hinder. And an abundant mindset filled with gratitude allows us the opportunity to levitate to the intentional development of these three areas that we were just mentioning: physical, emotional, and mental, as callousness gets involved, obviously tempered by self-awareness and balance. Now, if you think of this, these are formidable tools for navigating the complexities of life that we all face. And by embracing the art of callousness, individuals can forge a path toward resilience, adaptability, and a deeper understanding of what it means to be a human being. And with that said, although a silly theme on the surface level, this concept of being calloused carries such a deeper meaning that if we just pause and think about it, we actually come across some really interesting points that hopefully you've shared with me through these moments. Thank you very much for joining us on the Gasalva Perspective on this theme of being calloused. Have a great day.